We work with basically the foundation of human rights in the delivery of this product.
Nuestros planes están orientados en frenar la distribución de drogas.
Their plans are basically aimed at the reduction and prevention of the distribution of drugs and their trafficking.
El desvío de precursores químicos
The prevention of these synthetic and chemical drugs.
y la utilización de nuestro territorio en actividades delictivas como el lavado de activos y el crimen transnacional.
And also into the prevention of the crime and its attendant trafficking and international movements of drugs.
Los compromisos asumidos se resumen
These responsibilities that we're undertaking
en reformar la persecución penal en contra de los actores de los actos criminales,
and also highlighting and stopping these criminals who are distributing drugs internationally,
y de compartir experiencia para fortalecer nuestros trabajos.
and to share experiences of successful actions that we do in our mutual work against this drug problem.
Somos signatarios de la reunión de UNODC del año pasado, en el que acordamos fortalecer nuestros trabajos.
They were involved in last year's April UNODC World Drug Conference, in which they agreed to work together and collaborate with other nations.
Fortaleciendo nuestras legislaciones nacionales.
And they fortified and strengthened the Dominican Republican laws against drugs and their crime.
Esto sumado a múltiples convenios de cooperación internacionales.
These basically have summed up to a tremendous number of international agreements with other countries.
Desde el Consejo Nacional de Drogas implementamos diferentes programas de prevención.
In the National Council of Drugs in the Dominican Republic, they utilize various different formats and programs to deliver this product.
La herramienta principal es de las familias fuertes,
They use the strong families of the United Nations,
habilidades parentales
the parental abilities,
y talleres de socialización de los estándares internacionales.
and basically workshops of social interaction and well-being based on international standards.
Antes de finalizar mi intervención,
Before I finalize my speech,
quisiera dejar una leve reflexión a partir de lo que mi compañero, el señor de la Fuente, expresaba sobre la unión de los países.
he would like to give a brief conclusion, personally of his own, which also goes in accordance with what Mr. Rocky de la Fuente just mentioned.
Recientemente participé en un programa internacional directo en Lualaba.
He recently was participant in a very large international program that occurred a few weeks ago.
Y trataba sobre las operaciones mundiales en el tema del contra el narcotráfico.
And basically was involving in the activities that the countries are undertaking against narcotrafficking.
Y aquí viene. Muchos años de esfuerzo, Colombia, México,
Many years of fighting in Colombia and Mexico against drugs.
numerosos carteles desmantelados y apresados,
Many cartels that were dismantled and abolished.
miles de toneladas de drogas decomisadas,
Thousands of tons of drugs that were confiscated.
cientos de millones de dólares decomisados también.
Hundreds of millions of dollars that were spent.
Pero aquí va la pregunta.
But here's the question.
¿Y qué sucede? Que mientras más decomiso tenemos, más consumo hay en el mundo.
What's happening? If we're doing all of this and spending all this money, and there's more consumption of drugs in the world occurring.
Eso significa que efectivamente tenemos que trabajar juntos, unidos en la prevención, en la educación, a fin de erradicar el impacto que tiene el consumo de drogas en nuestros jóvenes, en nuestras sociedades, en nuestra economía y especialmente en todo lo que tiene que ver con nuestra seguridad Muchas gracias por su invitación y les deseo una feliz jornada.
Basically, he said that obviously with all of this going on and the problem we still have attendance, that we have to work together to educate and to prevent so that we don't have this problem continue. Thank you very much for being here and for inviting me. So our next speaker would actually be then Colonel Angulo, who's director of the Drug Free World Program in Salvador.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, Ambassador Permanent Representative of the Kingdom of Lesotho, distinguished member of different missions based in the United Nations, distinguished guests, my friends, good afternoon. I would like to start with a phrase or a paragraph that I read and I take with me because it's inspired me a lot. And it's written in Latin. And it says, "Si vis pacem, para bellum." It means that if you know peace, prepare for war. It happened many years ago, and it's come from a general from the Empire of Rome. This is for me because we are here now this morning for discuss very important topics related to development and sustainability. But we cannot talk about sustainability and development if we do not approach and we do not touch transversal topics like security, the drug abuse, drug consumption, and violence. It's a little bit hard for me to say that unfortunately, past couple of years ago, El Salvador was named as one of the top 10 most violent countries in the world. And the reason is because there is a lot of struggle in the region in Central America, and this is causes because of drugs, violence, and many other things that are affecting our society from many, many ways. So from that, and from my experience after 34 years of being in the service of military, and now that I'm retired, it's important that we have to address this now as a civil society. And it's very important that we, as an organized society, we must address this and take this personally. And this is what that's what I would like to talk a little bit about. 3 years ago, El Salvador had more than 29 dead people died in my country because of violence. And this is directly addressed because of drugs. Now it's reducing. Now we have an average of 6 to 9 people who die because of violence every single day in El Salvador. So for El Salvador, this is an issue. And we are talking about people. I remember that in 2006, I was part of the coalition member in the international countries who were working to develop and have the sustainability of Iraq. And I remember that Iraq had more than 30 people die every single day during that time. But if we compare and contrast that 30 people, 29 in El Salvador. El Salvador is not a country who have been in a war. We are supposed to be in a safety place, but it's not true. And this is, again, caused mostly because of drugs. So now that we are celebrating the annual commemoration of the United Nations International Day Against Drugs and Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, I would like to also to explain that we, the social society, or the civilian society, can play a key role in this context. We strongly believe because I've seen organizations like Organization for Governance and Competitiveness. Mr. President is my Excellency Ambassador Carlos Garcia, that I know with you. Okay, so that. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the support, sir. And because this organization is doing a tremendous support for these issues and is bringing something. And one of the most important things that organizations like WOCG or other organizations like Karibu, which we have here the honor to have my beloved Ambassador Noela, who is the president of Karibu organization. Thank you very much as well. HART, other entities like also Mama Waro, which means Mama with the Heart. It's my lovely lady Elizabeth from the Democratic Republic of Congo is doing a tremendous job because of the issue related to development, sustainability, and the prevention of abuse of drugs. With this, we know that we, the good people, are more than the bad ones, and we can defeat them. And I really appreciate what the previous speakers explained about the unification and the integrations. Karibu initiative has played a tremendous opportunity also, because how we can defeat then the drug abuse or topic like violence or the poverty. Well, we would like to bring good things to one side to another. There is no matter the size of the country, no matter the power of the country it has, but it will come from our heart and from our mind. And we strongly believe that we can defeat the bad ones if we want to do that. And one of the initiatives that I have seen is because through Karibu, I had the opportunity to be invited by these organizations, and also I would like to thank and didn't mention previously for the state of Lualaba and the Democratic Republic of Congo and the permanent mission as well, that I had the opportunity to be in Congo a couple of weeks ago. And I had the opportunity to share and to see that no matter where you are and no matter what we are humans and we have a lot in common. So I thank you very much for that. And now we are trying to face and to bring good things to those areas, let's say Africa and Latin America. And a small country like El Salvador now is facing a new opportunity, because we have a big brother like Congo. It's 21,000 kilometers facing 3 million kilometers of size, so you can imagine, but we have a lot in common. And again, I thank you very much for that. Finally, I would like to say that me as a representative of drug-free world in El Salvador is a tremendous responsibility. I thank you very much, my good friend Dr. Firatov, because you believe in us, sir, and you are doing a tremendous support to my country for this issue. And one of the most important things that drug-free world is doing is that they are bringing hope. And it cannot be with the opportunity and the support that this organization do for us. And again, I thank you very much. You and your team, Megan, thank you again. Thank you very much for what you're doing for El Salvador. And now, drug-free world is in El Salvador, and we now are facing and supporting from education and from prevention. We are now represent the difference for more than 27,000 people, students, and more than 700 teachers and social workers. So it's a good beginning, because we have just 1 year with this initiative. And we know that we are going to conquer and we are going to defeat that bad people. So again, I don't want to spend too much, but I thank you very much. I know that we united, we can make a difference. Thank you very much.
So now I want to, it's my pleasure also, I called her about 3 weeks ago, and I said, Noela, all the military say it's impossible, so I called on you. Please make this happen. And she found this nice man from Lesotho. She had already worked with the Democratic Republic of Congo. We've been working with Haiti. And so she made it all happen. So I want for all of us to give a nice round of applause for Lualaba and Zamwa.
Thank you, Dr. Ben, and Your Excellency, Minister Consular, distinguished guests. Before I get into my short presentation, I would love to talk a little bit about what drug free world is doing. Apart from making the world aware, of the drug issues in the world, but one thing that the drug free world is doing is connecting nations. It's through the willingness of trying to know what the drug world is doing that I connected with I call it now my good friend, Colonel Angulo, General Naeha, and we actually even went to El Salvador. So this is also what the organization is doing. As Mr. Rocky said, if you only have one Congo, you can break it. It's like you have one pencil, it's easy to break, but when you have 10, it's difficult. So once we come together, like we may have just one program, but it's bringing people together, and let's keep on that. My presentation is on the state of Lualaba for tourism. But with tourism, if we don't have security, we cannot sustain, tourism. And for that, the violence level needs to be reduced, So I am actually here proud to represent my lovely country that I love so much, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. But it's also important to mention again Madam Isabel. She actually arrived yesterday from Lubumbashi. Thank you. And when the Colonel and General were in the Congo, she actually welcomed them and all that. And I would love for her to say a little bit more, because a part of the many program and project that she does, she has a business where she receives a lot of foreign people, and we'll get that in a later. So the Democratic Republic of Congo has a total area of 345,410 kilometers square. About the population is about 80 million and going up. But today I'm representing the state of Lualaba. I am actually representing my governor, His Excellency Richard Muyej Manguez Mas, which I'm very grateful for the trust that he put in me. So going back to Lualaba, Lualaba is a new province in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, following the breakup of the Katanga. Katanga used to be one province, and now it's divided into 4. So Lualaba is a pilot province. Through right now we're focusing on tourism, but the state of Lualaba englobes it's a mining province. So it is urgent to transform the wealth from mine into new wealth, which we're focusing now on tourism. So apart from its mineral wealth, the province of Lualaba is enormous into touristic and cultural potentials. So since we're running out of time, I will be very, very, very quick. But in the province of Lualaba, we have the flora and fauna, caves and cliffs. We have caves and cliffs that it's almost out of the ordinary. So it's more like, for me, I would say it should be added among the wonders of the world. So right now, what the state is seeking is more partnerships. So partnerships in terms of, we can invite you to Congo. I really love when the Colonel and General came. Actually, before they came, I would love to mention this and the importance of the media and how the media transforms the images of a country or a human being. There were some issues happening, and we were supposed to have a delegation of 8 coming. But just one picture of what went through the internet about Congo made the 4 other people who were in the delegation to come to Congo to say, oh, it's a war zone, we cannot go there, there is no security. But I love the courage of Colonel Angulo, General, and the Mayor of Panchimalco that they took to actually come and say, well, we've been through war, but let's go see what the country is about. But when they came, Colonel can testify here, it was different. They actually say we did not expect this. So like the image we had of Congo, the image we had of Okatanga or Lualaba, it's way different, you know. So they, it was very, very interesting and nice for them, and we really appreciate that they came. Until they came to the in the state of Lualaba, where we had the partnership of sister city relationship between Panchimalco and the city of Kolwezi. So the media also plays a major part of that. Apart from the Democratic Republic of Congo, we have a lot of foreign companies. So if we say there is no security, we can talk a company like KCC. The delegation from El Salvador had an opportunity to go and visit the mining company. It's among the biggest mining company in the state of Lualaba. And so how can they sustain that company if there is no security? So it's very, very important that we also promote the good that are coming from a country instead of just focusing on the negative that are coming from the country. And I would love to say to all that Congo is a peaceful country. Well, yes, there are some troubles are everywhere, but we are inviting you. We have connected with the Kingdom of Lesotho, Haiti, El Salvador, Guatemala, and all the other countries here to actually work together and come as one nation. You know, we have a lot that we share in common, and we need to focus on the positive. We need to focus on what can bring us together instead of what can separate us. So my last final phrase that I can say is our differences is our unity. So thank you and welcome to Lualaba.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce someone that I met in actually when he came to New York back last August, and Colonel Angulo introduced me to him. He's a former Chief of Air Force Staff of Guatemala, and he is Director of Drug-Free World in Guatemala, and his name is General Edwin Napara.
Gracias. Buenas tardes.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Soy un ciudadano guatemalteco de la República de Guatemala, Central America.
He's a citizen of Guatemala from Central America.
Ciudadano formado en escuelas militares, las cuales me permitieron lograr un sueño del ciudadano en beneficio de mi país.
He was trained basically in military education, and as he grew in that realm, it allowed him to function as a citizen of Guatemala in his dream.
Lo cual me permitió llegar a ser comandante de la Fuerza Aérea y viceministro de la Defensa.
Which led him to become Chief of Staff of the Air Forces, and then Vice Chairman of the Defense Department.
Y siempre he expresado con mucho honor la formación que mi país me permitió.
He's also always been very honored with what he was bestowed upon by his country.
Es un honor estar aquí con tan importantes personalidades.
It's an honor for him to be here with such important personalities.
De la República Democrática del Congo,
With the Democratic Republic of Congo,
Haití, Santo Domingo, El Salvador,
the Republic of Salvador,
Estados Unidos de América
United States of America,
y en su momento por la importante organización Drug Free, capítulo de las Américas.
and for the country of Lesotho, and for Drug-Free World Americas.
Agradezco de gran manera a las representaciones del Estado de Lesotho
He appreciates very much the support in making this happen today by the country of Lesotho
y a la provincia de Lualaba,
and the province of Lualaba.
de Ambosana, y Muema,
Now you have to translate for me.
de la República Democrática del Congo, por invitarme a esta importante reunión y no digamos a este importante edificio que integra a todas las naciones del mundo.
And we want to thank the Democratic Republic of Congo for having him invited here and to be part of this in this tremendous building which we're all in, which represents unity for mankind.
Es importante pensar que nuestros gobiernos hoy en día tienen muchos retos.
It's very important to realize that our governments today are really beset by many, many different problems.
Tienen retos de educación, tienen retos de salud pública y retos en beneficio del bien común de nuestros ciudadanos.
Education, public health and safety, and basically the rights of our citizens of each country.
Pero uno de los retos más complejos que hoy se tienen es la lucha en contra de las circunstancias de las drogas que en un momento están amenazando a nuestros ciudadanos en nuestros países.
But most importantly is the problem that we all share with this crisis on drugs worldwide and how it's affecting and menacing all our public, all our people.
Como ciudadano militar, ya no digamos militar retirado de 35 años de trabajo,
As basically a military soldier, a citizen who now is retired after 35 years of service,
reconozco el esfuerzo que nuestros países ha hecho en contra de este flagelo que hoy está provocando muchos problemas en nuestros países.
he realizes how much time and money all our countries have spent fighting this really virus, which is worldwide with drugs.
En su momento, trabajando en las fuerzas aéreas, fui un ciudadano que participé directamente en el combate de este flagelo que hoy en día está llegando a nuestras ciudades, que es la droga.
As part of the military and chief of staff of the armed forces or the air forces, he personally was involved in fighting and directly in fighting this narco traffic and what we're facing today.
Se tiene conocimiento y tenemos conocimiento que hay 4 formas de combatir las drogas hoy en día.
There's known, and it's important to know, there's 4 basic ways that we combat drugs.
El combate por medio de nuestras fuerzas armadas,
To combat it with the military forces,
lo que ya mis antecesores explicaron,
which everyone who's spoken before him has spoken,
la prevención, la educación
the prevention and education,
y una de las situaciones muy importantes, la cooperación directa de nuestros países.
and something vital, the cooperation of all of our countries.
Debemos de combatir directamente todos los ciudadanos de los diferentes sectores.
We all, the citizens of each respective country, need to unite in fighting this problem.
La oferta que existe
The offer that exists
y la demanda que un momento se da por medio del consumo.
and the problem of the demand. And the demand because of the need or the consumption that exists.
De esa manera debemos unirnos, integrarnos y tener una lucha directa contra el uso y el tráfico de drogas en nuestro país.
In that vein, we need to unite, we need to integrate, and to go forth in preventing, controlling, and educating each of our countries.
Agradezco grandemente a la organización o fundación Un Mundo Libre de Drogas
He wants to give his thanks to the International Foundation for Drug-Free World,
por medio de nuestro estimado doctor Ben Fialco,
which Dr. Ben Fialkov represents,
por medio de la secretaria de la Fundación MEGA,
through the work of the Executive Director of the Foundation for Drug-Free World, Megan Fialkov,
quienes nos están permitiendo este recurso que vamos a utilizar para la prevención y educación en diferentes instituciones públicas y privadas.
which through this help, the support of the Foundation for Drug-Free World materials has allowed him to actually bring this to the private sector, public sector, and government level.
Ministerio de la Defensa,
And to the Minister of Defense,
Ministerio de Gobernación,
the Minister of Governing,
la Secretaría Pública de la Prevención contra las Drogas de mi país,
the basically public secretary in charge of the drug control,
Health International, y la Asociación y la Presidencia de la Iglesia Luterana de nuestro país.
and basically the echelon, higher echelon of the Lutheran Church in this country.
En ese sentido, doy las gracias a la Fundación
And that, for that reason, he wants to give thanks to the Foundation for Drug-Free World.
y doy las gracias de la oportunidad de expresarme, de integrar una lucha la cual lo debemos hacer todos los ciudadanos. Muchas gracias.
And
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. We're going to be closing the event because there's another group that's coming in here. We went a little bit over. So thank you so much for being so patient with us. We really appreciate it. And we really thank you all for coming. In closing, as we all leave, we have the 3 models from Allflo Couture who are going to escort us out of the room, who are going to be showing the designs and creativity of youth. Thank you so very much for all being here. We're going to be taking pictures right outside of the room. Thank you very much. Yes, we're going to
Okay.